Hi everyone, this is a video on a different way of weeding when you have something that's maybe quite delicate and you can't get you're having trouble weeding the actual piece that you've got. I've actually got a little piece here and I need to put this on here, and I've weeded several times and some of the letters come off, some of them don't, some of them you know, the top comes off or whatever. The traditional way of doing it is to have your piece and then put your transfer paper on top like this one. See if I can get this off here. Take out all the bits you don't want, keep the ones that you do, and you'll end up with something that looks like this. Okay, but sometimes it doesn't work that way, so you have to find an alternative, and I'm someone that always finds an alternative to make something work. Now I've got one of these Christmas baubles here, and I'm having to put this here on there. So the way that I've designed this, or the way that I've got this to go, is to actually cut as much around what I want to do, so there's not a whole lot left. This might sound really different, and yes it is, but I've found that it works. So I'm just cutting this, and I've got two words on here, or actually one word and one date, so you can actually see that it's not just one here, you've got another line down here. So then what I do is I've got the bauble or the ornament, whatever you want to call it, sitting into just a roll of tape. I find that these glass ones actually just sit in there very nicely, nice and snug, and that's what you want. You want the bauble to be stationary, and so if you can find a roll of tape that your bauble fits into nice and snugly so it doesn't move around. So then what I found is if you actually try and peel the whole thing off. Let's see if I can get over here. Just peel the whole thing off. If you find that some of it starts to lift, just push it back so that it sits with all the other letters, just like that. We don't actually want them, we want it all in one piece like that. And for some this might take a little bit of practice, but I've found that doing it this way, I've actually got it onto the object that I want to put it on. I can let it lay flat like that. Then I'll press it down with my fingers. And then I'll give it a bit of a burnish. Either you can do it with the big one or you can do it with the small one. It's up to you, whichever one you like to use the best. Now you can see that this actual bauble or ornament is not flat, it is round. So this might even work better on a flat surface. At this point in time you can take the bauble out. And then instead of weeding it and then putting transfer paper on it, you can get X-Acto knife, Stanley knife. I use a needle in a pencil like this, and then what you want to do is to lift. I'm hoping you can see this. Is to lift. I'll see if I can bring this down a little. is to just lift like this, and you'll find that most of it just wants to come off anyway. So you just slip your knife underneath, or your weeding tool underneath. So instead of just weeding it off the paper onto, or even reverse weeding, I don't know what you'd call this. It's not reverse weeding and it's not normal weeding. It's kind of like, let's see, maybe object weeding, I'm not sure. But as you can see, when you've finished it onto the actual product, it's just starting to lift off. You might need to help it a little bit in areas like this. I know on all the other ones I've done, there's a little bit of a snag on the bottom of that 0. There we go. And lift this up around here. And this is, I mean, these are tiny. You can see where my fingernail is and where the actual 2017 is. It's very tiny. But I found that I was struggling with the weeding process of getting, you know, I would get maybe a couple of letters and then it would just not come off, or the others would stay, or whatever. So I found that the best way to do it was to do it this way. And as we all know, there's more than one way to do something. It's not a cut and dried of, you know, you've got to do it this way or you've got to do it that way or whatever. Okay, so I've got all the background off. Then it's just a matter of doing the inside, even to the point where you can do this little 0 down here. There we go. That's the 0 done. And over to the R. This might be a little bit more difficult, this R, because I've got it vinyl on vinyl. There we go. And then the P. There we go. Alright. And there you have it. Weeded on the object. And then just give it a bit of a burnish where it's not quite down over the whole thing. You can put transfer paper on top of that if you like, just to give, if you've got, you know, delicate vinyl or whatever. But I'm using this here. This here is your Kmart Contact, this one here, which is notoriously hard to weed because when you're lifting it up, sometimes it takes the top coating off. Alright, so there you have it. I hope that helps everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. You're watching Shaz. Thanks. Bye.